The fragile peace of Europe has collapsed under the crushing weight of imperial ambition. For decades, the British Empire and the Russian Empire played the great game in the shadows, competing for influence across Central Asia. The collapse of the Ottoman domains and control over the strategic waterways connecting the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. But diplomacy has failed, and words have yielded to cold steel. The root cause of this apocalypse lies in Russia's relentless push southward toward the warm waters of the Mediterranean and the trade routes of India, directly threatening the lifeblood of Great Britain's global trade dominance. Emerging from the dense northern fog like an unstoppable tide of steel and dark green cloth comes the Imperial Russian Army, a 100,000 strong force built upon unrelenting endurance and fanatic loyalty to the Tsar. These men are not mere mercenaries or professional volunteers. They are hardy conscripts drawn from the boundless steppes, the dark forests of Siberia, and the icy heartlands of Muscovy. Their uniforms consist of thick, dark green wool coats, heavy boots designed for winter marches, and brass-fitted shakos that catch the dim sunlight. Their discipline is rooted in absolute obedience and an extraordinary ability to endure unimaginable, suffering without breaking rank. Opposing them stands the apex predator of global empire, the British Expeditionary Force, 100,000 strong, bathed in the striking scarlet of their iconic wool tunics and white crossbelts. The British Army represents the pinnacle of industrial warfare and professional military doctrine, guided by strict drill regimens and unwavering composure under fire. These men have fought on every continent, forging a reputation for absolute steadfastness. Dawn breaks over the Black Valley, casting a blood-red hue over a landscape transformed into a theater of death. The air is thick with damp mist, wet earth, and the nervous breath of 200,000 men standing shoulder to shoulder across a 3-mile front. The silence of the morning is shattered in an instant as 150 Russian artillery pieces open fire simultaneously. The ground trembles beneath the deafening roar as solid iron cannonballs tear through the morning fog, slamming into the tightly packed British ranks. Turf, earth, and limbs fly into the air as the first British casualties fall. Within seconds, the Royal Navy warships anchored off the coast answer with a thunderous broadside, sending massive 68-pounder shells whistling overhead to crash directly into the Russian center, throwing up towering geysers of mud and flame.
Sunlight today. Sunny with a sunlight today.
A wall of flame ignites along the British position. Thousands of mini balls rip through the air, hitting the dense Russian columns with sickening force. The front ranks of the Russian army collapse in a single instant. But the column does not stop. Driven by absolute resolve, the Russian soldiers step over the bodies of their fallen comrades, closing the gaps and continuing their advance. center of the battlefield, the Russian heavy artillery advances to point-blank range, firing canisters shot directly into the British middle. Iron balls sweep through the red ranks like a scythe through wheat. British artillery responds with shrapnel shells, exploding above the Russian reserves and creating a horrific storm of iron fragments. Commanders on both sides fall from their horses. Officers are torn apart as line formations disintegrate into desperate group firefights. Tactical control begins to slip into utter chaos as 200,000 men clash in an endless, bloody, grinding match. The roar of battle is deafening, a combination of thunderous broadsides, exploding shell fuses, clashing steel, and the agonized screams of thousands of dying men. The battle is over. The Russian Empire has secured a hard-fought, catastrophic victory. The price of triumph is terrifyingly vast. Over 40,000 men from both sides lie dead or wounded across the mud-soaked valley, their uniforms stained black by powder and blood. The British fleet sails away, humbled and forced into retreat, while the Russian army stands victorious amid the ruins of the battlefield.